Alright everyone, this is going to be a comparison video between what at first glance would appear to be a legitimate pair of DMP 6s from the DMP pack, the DMP 611 pack. We're going to compare an authentic pair here on the right versus a fake or replica pair that you see here on the left. I just want to say up front that this is not intended to offend anyone who buys replica shoes. Everybody's got their own financial circumstances that have to be taken into consideration. This video is for those who are on the lookout for an authentic pair. I kind of want to give you some tips on stuff to look out so you don't get duped or you don't get scammed. So this pair on the left, this is definitely one of the better fakes that I've seen. Let's go ahead and get the review, or the comparison rather, started. The sixes from the six pack, as you know, come from this box. A lot of the fakes that you'll see listed for sale online will have the pack split. The pack will come in this box. So let's just compare the size of the boxes. As you can see, the size of the boxes is pretty much identical. The first difference that you can see is kind of the location of the print. The 91 on the authentic pair is very much closer to the edge of the box than it is here on the replica pair. Going on to the plastic cover, the plastic cover is very similar, and again, this is probably one of the better fakes that I've seen of sixes. The consistency or the thickness of the plastic cover is almost identical to that as found on the fake pair. What you will notice is a slight difference in thickness in the replica pair, but again, you would have to have this next to this or have it on hand so you'd be able to tell the difference. I mean, it's very similar. What you will notice is a difference in image quality. The picture on the authentic cover, you can tell is the original pair, whereas the picture that's on the replica pair is lower quality, kind of grainy, kind of see-through, whereas the authentic pair, the authentic cover is much higher image quality. So putting that to the side, one thing that should jump out at you if someone comes at you with a split pack of DMP 6s. If you see this booklet should not be in the box with the 6s. Every pair I've ever seen of every pack of DMPs that I've seen, don't pay any attention to these stickers. This is something I just use to keep track of my shoes. The booklet comes in the box that the 11s come in. If someone comes at you with a box of DMP 6s that have this booklet, it shouldn't be there. And this booklet doesn't really come out of the box. As you can see, it's kind of fastened into the box that the 11s come in. So be on the lookout for that. In terms of the booklet itself, if someone does give you the booklet is very high quality. Extremely similar. There's a slight color difference, as you can see, but in terms of the inside is practically identical. I mean, it's kind of scary actually how alike they are. The print quality is practically identical. One difference that you will notice is that the print is embossed on the authentic booklet, whereas it's just kind of screen printed on the fakes. And this embossing should be on the inside of the booklet as well as the back. You can see the slight texture the booklet has. And it's funny because the fake does have an embossing effect on the inside of the booklet, but the front and the back of the booklet are just printed on. So that's a small difference. But the booklet, as I said, is very high quality. And you shouldn't be relying on the packaging or the booklet to determine if the shoes that you're looking at buying are authentic or not. So let's get to the shoes. The actual shoe itself, the material between the two is extremely similar. Again, you would have to have an authentic pair next to the replica rather, to really be able to tell a difference in the material of the shoe. This I guess I would describe this as kind of a longer hair suede or Durabuck or whatever this is, whereas the authentic pair is very, very short hair. So let's kind of work our way from the top of the shoe going down. Most fakes that I've seen, most fake sixes that I've seen have very flimsy tongues. That is definitely not the case here. The tongue is practically identical to the authentic pair. Matter of fact, the tongue on the fake pair is a little bit stiffer than the one on the authentic pair. So it's kind of scary how similar it is. But there's one thing that I wish you could see, particularly in this area, the stitching around this hole. You'll notice that there's a slight V. It kind of goes down and then comes back up, almost touching the stitching that goes near the bottom of the rubber part of the tongue. That should not be that way. These stitchings should be independent. So you don't want to have a shoe, if you're looking for an authentic pair, that the stitching should be separate from each other. They shouldn't dip down and almost touch like they do on this pair. Staying on the tongue, you can very obviously see the difference in the quality of the Jumpman on the tongue. You can also see a difference in the thickness of the tongue. This Jumpman looks like he's been going to Mickey D's a little bit too much because he's getting a little thicker on the waistline. So that's something you want to keep an eye out for all replicas. The Jumpman for some reason is very hard to replicate, so be aware of that. The lace lock on the authentic pair is made of a glossy plastic. It's got a kind of a glossy finish to it, whereas the lace lock, let me see if I can find it here, that came with the authentic pair, it's a very matte finish, and the print quality isn't anywhere near that you see on the authentic pair. So the lace locks will also be different. Staying near the top of the shoe, the authentic pair, you'll notice, has a cloth border at the top. You know, the leather goes into the cloth, and the cloth is stitched over the leather, and it comes to a pretty precise point near the top. This pair of fakes, there's none of that. So I'm not sure that the camera will be able to pick up the difference. This kind of just joins at the top, and the tongue is very puffy. I mean, that's something that you can see kind of looking down into the shoe. The tongue is very, very puffy all around the collar, and the sixes should not be that way. Sixes should come to a precise point at the top. The only part that should be puffy on the six is this bubble, and the bubble should be very, very well defined all the way around the bubble. That's another difference that we have here. You know, the whole upper ankle support area of the shoe just kind of gradually comes up and winds up with this bubble. So the bubble is not nearly as well defined on the replica. You can see the difference in the stripes that appear on the ankle support as well. There's 3 stripes up here on the upper part of the Jordan VI. They're very, very hard to tell because of the puffiness, again, of the replica shoes. It's puffy, it's much less defined, and you can barely make out the 3rd stripe up here. So that's another difference that you can see in the ankle support area of the shoe. Going to the back, the heel tab, you can see, has a very different finish. The authentic pair has a matte finish. This one has much higher gloss, you can see. So It's supposed to look like that. The Jumpman, again, this Jumpman looks like he's been eating too much fast food. It's supposed to look like this, and you can see the color difference, especially on the 23. That's kind of like a plastic job here. That's kind of glued to the shoe on both of these. This, you can barely make this 23 out versus this 23 is much more. It pops a lot more, and it matches the gold that's used on the heel tab. Something else you want to take a look at too is on the inside of the heel tab of the authentic pair, and you probably won't be able to pick this up on the video, but there are 3 very small dimples. There's one on each side and one in the middle of the inside of the heel tab on an authentic pair of DMP 6s. That is nowhere to be found here on the replica pair. So just another small difference. Now, turning to the lateral profiles of the shoe, very, very similar. I mean, it's scary the way these fakes are getting. The medial side of the shoe, very, very hard to tell the difference between the replica and the authentic pair. Again, take a look at the V that's formed on the 3rd lace hole. This should come to a very, very defined point here, a very sharp point. Again, the replica it rounds this stitching off here at that V. So keep an eye out on that. That's another indicator that the shoe you're looking at might be fake. The only other difference as far as the overall shape goes, there's some sloppy stitching up here on the front of the toe box near the side of the shoe. It looks like there's a couple of stitches that were kind of skipped, so some of the stitches look longer than the others, but again, it's very, very hard to tell. There are not a whole lot of those. You have to look for them, but if you look for them, you can find them on this particular shoe. Going down to the soles, as you can see, the soles are completely identical. I mean, it's very, very scary how good these fakes have gotten. As you can see, one is obviously a very different color than the other. This is a pair that I've kept in the bag since I bought it. So they've aged. They haven't aged too much. The plastic apparently that's used on these replicas doesn't age as well. This clear sole that they use to make this, but everything else about the sole, you know, the number of holes in the sole, the location of the holes on the sole, are all identical. So this is not going to be a way that you'll be able to tell. I really think that they take the authentic shoe and press it into some kind of plaster mold to make this outsole, because that's how good this is. It's very, 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 very good reproduction of the authentic outsole. One other thing I wanted to make sure I mention to you guys too, if you look at the insole of the shoe will only have the Jumpman on the replica. On an authentic pair of DMP 6s, again, you probably not going to be able to see this, but it should have the Jumpman with the air underneath in the same kind of fashion that you'll find on a standard pair of 6s. You'll find that printed on the insole of the shoe. So anyway, the moral of the story is there's not one thing that's going to jump out at you as you know, that's the one thing you want to check when you're comparing these shoes. There's a bunch of little things, and when you add all the little things up, that's when you'll be able to tell that you're looking at an authentic or a replica pair, fake pair of Jordan. So hope you guys got some benefit out of this video. Again, this is intended for people who are looking for that authentic pair to add to their collection, and want to make sure that a pair that they're looking at is a legitimate pair. So you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to hit me up with any questions. And happy hunting. Hope you guys got some benefit out of this video.